If you have ever taken screenshots in Final Fantasy XIV, more often than not, you have heard of a tool called Gshade. What is Gshade? Well, Gshade is just a thing that makes your game look a lot nicer for screenshots and such. I will admit I have used Gshade before. I know a lot of people who have. All it does is you can have a bunch of filters. Imagine a Snapchat filter if you're not versed in taking screenshots. Or imagine putting it into Photoshop and pumping up the saturation and things like that. It does certain techniques to basically make your screenshots fit the scene a little more, make them more dramatic and scenic and etc, etc. That's all fine and dandy. Also, if you've used Reshade, Gshade's basically that, except it is specifically made for Final Fantasy, and I'm pretty sure it has a thing for WoW as well. You can use it for Warcraft and a couple of different MMOs. And that's all nice. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, you know? There's nothing wrong with the little color in your game. Oh, but if it was only just color. Because a couple days ago, people found something out about Gshade. And it takes a harmless fucking little color plugin, little color thing for a game, and it turns it into a fucking virus. Yup, that's right. So, Gshade has a problem. You see, Gshade has a lot of updates. Yeah, it updates a lot. And sometimes those updates can break the color presets and the different shaders that you have installed to it. So, people went to the code and they found a workaround. And basically all it did was it stopped Gshade from updating, because if you don't up Gshade, it basically disables itself until you update it. Which, like, okay, yeah, whatever, fine. The people who are smart enough to do that is not the majority of people. It's like probably 5 people who can do that. And then 5 people, and then they're like 5 friends who can, do that. So it's basically nobody compared to the thousands upon thousands of people who might use this tool. Well, this person right here, they make Gshade. They were not happy. They were not happy about people bypassing their update. They said, no, can't do that. Fuck you. And I'm going to make sure you can't do that. So what did they do? They went into the code a couple days ago. I remember this update. Went in probably like Sunday. Okay, like Sunday night, Gshade had an update. I updated it. Little did I know that this update was not just a harmless bug fix. It, in fact, added a line of code where if it detected if you were using the thing that disables the Gshade update thing, it would forcefully close and restart your PC. Yup. That's right. I have a picture of the code. Here we go. As you can see right here, it'll check, and then, if it enables, it will issue shutdown.exe. And that, ladies and gentlemen, this little thing, that's what we call malware. Now here's the thing. Okay? If you just use Gshade, this shit would not affect you. It wouldn't. because you're just using it. You don't care if it updates. Like, you probably use the presets. Like, you're not gonna go and make your own. Like, you're just an average user. So this doesn't affect you. You know what I mean? No normal person would be at risk from this. You know what I mean? That being said, let's give you an example of this. This might not affect you as a normal person, but let's say you install an app on your phone. Okay? And this app, it's basically like Snapchat. It basically uses your camera so it can take pictures. Right? Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Now, what if there was a setting upon installing this app where it was like, it asked for your gender, right? It says, are you male or female? Well, if you enabled and put in female, then every time you go to the bathroom, your camera would enable and it would take pictures. Now, if you're a dude, you are not affected by this. But if you're a girl, you are. That doesn't make it any less okay. Like, one side might not be affected, but it's affecting these other people. That's really fucking bad. And it's especially brings in a really bad precedent of if the author of this code is so willing to just inconvenience a minority of people that they would inflict an actual shutdown command that could actually damage your fucking computer because it's a hard reset, then what about if for anything else? If they're so willy-nilly and gun-ho on this, you are not safe. You are not a safe person. You are not safe. There's nobody who is safe. Okay? Now, people were rightfully pissed off by this. And people asked in the official Gshade Discord, they're like, what the fuck is this? Well, this person here, the author of Gshade, had this response. Hello, Knight. Anti-tampering code is not unusual in proprietary software. It is impossible to trigger that code by running the Gshade installer as a normal end user in any fashion. You must call the individual functions of the app from an external third-party program designed to utilize its functions in a clandestine fashion. It was meant to be a lesson to you specifically about taking this approach to the problem. Anything could have been in the payload, and you would have been responsible for distributing it to the people and triggering it. I chose a restart specifically because I wanted something that was still completely harmless but slightly more noticeable than a quick process kill. Consider it similar to what anti-cheat software does when something particularly bad turns up. Now, there's some problems with this. First off, right here at the very bottom, they compare what they have done with the code to an anti-cheat software, like on a game, like easy anti-cheat. I know Halo the Master Chief Collection uses this. But here's the fucking difference between anti-cheat software and this. You know what anti-cheat prevents? Cheating. You know what cheating affects? Every aspect of the game. If anti-cheat didn't exist, random mofos would just have access to God mode, unlimited ammo, and it would be no fun at all. If you want to see how fun things are when there is no anti-cheat, go play GTA Online. That's not fun. Now, that is a completely different thing because cheating affects every single user involved. This tool that they were using for Gshade, all it did was it made it so that it would stop updating Who does that affect? No one but the person who uses it. You are comparing apples to oranges on this one. These are two completely different things. It's not like by using this, you completely destroy Gshade or something. You know what I mean? It's not like people are using Gshade to hack into the game and zoom their camera out 10 million miles away so that they could fight the fucking boss in the Omega Protocol. That's not what this does. Okay? This was not a prevention of cheating. This was a prevention of updating, because your updates are so unstable that they fucking break people's shit. And so this person's response to making things that break people's shit is to break more of their shit. Now here's the problem with this as well. Anything could have been in the payload. They basically said, dead ass, that they could put anything in here. If they wanted to, they could have put a fucking virus that affected everything on your computer. They could have put in a thing to delete System 32 and that's it. You're fucked. You are done. They could have put a thing in here that wipes your fucking hard drive. That corrupts it, taints it, short circuits your fucking PC. They said they could have put anything in here. Now, if you're God, you don't go around flexing your power, right? Because God can do whatever the fuck he wants to do. If he wants to snap his fingers and raise half the population, he can. That don't mean he should go around saying he's gonna do it. Saying this is stupid. This is how you tarnish your reputation, and that is exactly what happened. Because after this response, this shit got put on Twitter. And guess what? People had a very negative reaction to this. You know? And I mean, there's no reason why you wouldn't have had a negative reaction to this. Like, because imagine a bomb under your seat on a train, but it won't go off for you. Okay. Let me clean up this example a little bit. So imagine you go to sit on the train and there is a bomb underneath a seat. Now, if you sit on it, it's not going to trigger. It just won't. But there's still a bomb under your seat. Are you going to sit on that seat? No. Why are you going to sit there where you can go sit 2 benches over and not sit underneath a fucking bomb? This is exactly what happened here. Just because it doesn't affect everybody doesn't mean that there's not a fucking bomb in their code. Just because people aren't using the fucking software to remove an update, this still exists. You know? Fuck, this shit exists. And all it would take is for somebody to actually hack into the source code, take this, and make it even worse. Like some dickhead could have taken this fucking thing and made it so that if it just detects Gshade running at all, that it would just trigger a shutdown or a deletion of whatever. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, shit was very bad. It was very, very bad, especially because all you had to do, if you really wanted to counter people using that tool, was just go and added a thing that basically detects that you were running this tool and that Gshade will simply not run with it enabled. That's all you had to do. Instead, they added dead ass, straight up malware to the system. Now, if you're like, Dave, that's not malware. You don't know what malware is. I beg to fucking differ. Let me find the thing really fast. I gotta go to my Twitter to find this. I forgot to bookmark it. Oops. Ah, yes. Here it is. Right here. It's not malware, huh? Well, guess fucking what? Some guy, this guy right here, Voidbound0, shout out to this man. He opened Malwarebytes, a very popular, anti-malware antivirus. Well, he ran, right here, he says, he ran a scan on Gshade and Final Fantasy XIV, and you know what? It got fucking tagged as malware. That's 'cause it is. They did. This fucking person that made this person right here was so mad that people didn't want to update a tool that was perfectly fine, that they inserted a bomb into your code that is also malware. Now, the funny part about this is that as this anonymous user on Reddit points out, I actually don't know who he is. I saw this on Twitter. He says it's important to understand this shit, to not understand what this developer just did, because by adding malicious code that can shut down your computer without, printing that it's going to, that is a federal crime in the US and basically Europe. Now, if it was malware from the beginning, nobody would install it. But because it was already there, it was already an existing product that had malware added to it deliberately, and it was distributed to every single person who used it, bro, that's against the law. Like actual, real life jail gamers. Not fucking Square Enix getting pissed at you. Not Twitter canceling you. Actual multiple years in prison because you are knowingly distributing something that is malware. Bro, you can get banned from the internet for doing this shit. And this person decided that was okay. This is an ego Andy that has completely tarnished their reputation. And to be honest with you, if they thought this was okay, they don't need to be fucking coding. And you know what? The saga is over. That's right. The Gshade saga is over because people went and looked a couple days ago, maybe about 2. Gshade has been completely taken down. No more Gshade at all. Gshade's gone. You can't install a new update. The GitHub for it is gone, deleted. Every trace of it is gone. It's done. It is ended. Now, the smart thing to do, well, this was one of the smart things to do, was just to take it down. Another smart thing to do was to apologize, revert the update. The dev and his wife have also stepped down from their positions from Gshade as a whole. I mean, yeah. I mean, because how the fuck do you recover from this shit? Here's what should have fucking happened, is this person should have apologized, reverted the update, then stepped down and left. Instead, they dragged the entire shader through the mud, destroyed its reputation. Probably, maybe somebody got really hurt by this whole restart thing. And now, Nobody trusts them anymore. Their claim to fame is developing a malware for people who don't want to update software. Dog, even Windows is less annoying than that. Windows at least gets you the option to pause that shit. Fuck. And at least Windows won't be like, hey dickhead, if you don't update to this next fucking version, I'm going to revoke your license. You know? Like, jeez. Ugh. The whole situation is both awful, funny, and downright stupid.